This is gonna be an update for the frog deck that I had. I'm sorry I'm a little sick today, but we'll try to go over this fairly quickly. Um, First of all, we have three dupe frogs. These are the main players right here. Great defense, amazing effect. Sent to the graveyard, add frogs from the deck to the hand. It's essential, honestly. Three Substitutes, they work amazing with cards like Scapegoat and other token giving cards like Dandelion. You can sacrifice them on their own. He can sacrifice himself, so you can get any frog you need from the deck. And it has 2,000 defense, and you can set up a lock with the dupe frogs otherwise. He's also pretty much a must. Two Junk Synchrons, I haven't found much use for having more than two. It's optional to have three if you want, but I think two is probably the best. I only use one Swap Frog because he's not totally amazing, but his effect is fairly good for sending frogs from the deck to the graveyard. I'd suggest, yeah, only running one of them unless you're running something like Treeborn Frog in there. Two Flip-Flop Frogs seems pretty basic. Once you set up your lock with Dupe Frog and Substitute, or just Dupe Frogs, I guess, you can start setting up these guys and returning monsters and beating your opponent down slowly. Two Unifrogs are for, poking your opponent for a 16 or even just 400, really. And taking out the spells and traps. That's really the best part about this frog, because they don't really want to waste that trap on a 400 attack monster, but then they'll also have to lose a spell or trap in the end. It's really a really great card. One Submarine Frog, I've really started to love this guy again because of the 2400 attack you can get from Wetlands. It's been working really well. Prime Material Dragon protects your frogs, and he comes in Gold Edition, so he can be pretty cheap if you want to. This is honestly the best option for protecting your frogs. Then we have Dandelion, tribute him for Substitute, get more tokens. This is really an amazing card. Since it's coming out in the special edition for Absolute Power Force, you're pretty much set on that end. And then Penguin Soldier, since you can't get Flip-Flop's effect upon resolution if it's the only monster there when it's destroyed. This is a really good option otherwise. If I draw into this, I can just set it and go from there. Next is two Pot of Greeds. Three of them, I was going at dead draws constantly, but at two, they work perfectly, and they're basically Pot of Greeds in this deck thanks to Substitute and its constant tributing effect. Next, we only have two Wetlands. I'm debating about running three again, but really, two has been working great because I'm also throwing in Terraforming. It's working alright, but I'm considering running three again. Basic Spell and Trap removal, Heavy Storm, MST. Two Lightning Vortex. Because of the advantage you pull from cards like Dupe Frog, it's really easy to ignore the costs of cards like this, so you can really wipe out a bunch of monsters really quickly with these two cards. The only real pain this deck probably comes by is probably cards like Stardust, but I can get to that later. Then we have Level Area B, basic defense, good with Unifrog. Scapegoat, Substitutes targets, set this, set Substitute next turn, or during the end phase, activate this, tribute the tokens, and then, you got full field of frogs. Brain Control, pretty basic. Soul Exchange, tributing for Substitute and Prime Material Dragon. 1-for-1, discard a monster, special summon that Substitute, and get any frog you need. This card is pretty much a must in frogs as far as I can tell. Two Bottomless, pretty basic, should be easy to get. Two Aegis of Ocean Dragon Lord, that's also pretty easy to get. Now, Divine Wrath, this comes in common, but this card is amazing in these decks. It takes care of JD, Stardust, a bunch of other monsters that are really tricky and that could actually, pull apart a frog deck otherwise. This card has worked amazing for me. I used to run it in twos, but at ones, it's also really great. I suggest you try it in your frog deck. It's really suggested. I love this card. Gravity Bind, pretty basic. Torrential Tribute. Please excuse the coloring, but yeah, Torrential Tribute, pretty basic. One more staple called Haunted, and Trap Dust Shoot. Really great cards. And then the whole deck should be at 40. It's been working amazing, honestly. I don't have a very good side deck constructed, but I guess I could show you the synchro deck so far. Catastor, a pink Junk Warrior. I don't think you can see this, but you know, looks like it's a pink Junk Warrior right here. But 5 Junk Warriors, Iron Chain Dragon, Gaia, Knight, Force of the Earth. If I had the money, I would get my hands on Bryonac as soon as possible. But I don't have Goyo right now. Black Rose Dragon, X-Saber Urbellum, Stardust, Red Archfiend Dragon, and Mistworm. Mistworm works amazing in this deck because you get the 3 levels from Junk Warrior, and then you just need to get the other 6 from 3 Frogs, and then you can return 3 cards. This card works really, really, really well in Frogs. I suggest using Mistworm and getting it as soon as possible. But that's the deck update so far. Really not too much new, a couple of deck changes, and mostly just a more improved Synchro deck. But yeah, that should be it. Devilman out.